Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
So, what was filming this movie like? What was the process?
Oh, well, it's not much different than the normal process we do with the Hallmark movies. It's still like a 3 week prep, 3 week shoot. This was pretty smooth. I will say, besides that, we're butted right up against the actors' strike. Everything about the production went really smooth. We made our days, no accidents, thank goodness. And yeah, I mean, the process was smooth, painless, and fun.
That's great. What was since you were the producer, what did you oversee? Was it similar to A Biltmore Christmas? Was it just overseeing everything, making sure things got together, or how does that work?
Well, kind of. That really fell on Edwina, who was the local producer, because it was her crew and it's her country and, all her contacts. So she kind of did that. But I was right along with her and the director and the line producer, Molly, who works with us a lot. And so I was there from beginning to end. I made sure I dealt with problems. I also had a little bit of say over creative stuff since we created the idea. So, so I had my hand in a little bit of everything.
Yeah, definitely. So, what was it like shooting your scenes with all the Scottish locals other than the American cast? Because, there's somewhat of a difference, personality wise for each person.
Yeah, well, I think they're all excited. I mean, I feel like whatever country you shoot in, anybody who has a line or is in a movie, they're very excited to be in a movie. Especially a Hallmark movie. It's very fun. They get different outfits, they get try on stuff. The extras were fun. I actually was an extra, and I usually am not, but the only reason I became an extra is because we had to make sure that the extras that we shot in Ireland were also in Scotland, but we couldn't afford to fly extras. So we had certain crew members be both, and I was one of them. I didn't realize I was going to take up 3 days of my life being an extra. So I was happy to be in it, but I'm taking photos in a lot of scenes. I'm a tourist to Scotland. So it was fun to be in the crowd with the actors. Would I do it again? No, but if I had to for the movie, of course I would.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, extras are known as those background actors, and they're known for being the people that don't have lines unless they're pretty much given one on the spot. And they're just there to sort of make the scene look realistic as if it were happening in a real scene. And they don't usually speak, but that's what Andrew's referring to. And there's been many scenes in movies where extras have gotten credited, but some haven't, and it's mostly just an uncredited role. And then they're usually just part of a different, from what I've read, they're part of a different kind of acting guild compared to main acting, just because, yeah. Is that how it goes? Pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness I didn't speak. Yeah, if you speak, to be a day player, and I'm the worst actor there is. But yeah, there are in America, extras are also part of SAG, but they are a different, like, they go through a different payroll company, everything. But in overseas, they're kind of just the locals that are paid to be extras. But of course, they wanted to be in a movie. But yeah, that's basically what they are. They're in. They don't say a word. If they say a word, then they're actually a day player.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And we've seen a lot of those extras in movies, and then you see them in other movies with, major roles, and you're just like, "I remember that guy from this movie?"
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a town, a city, a country that does a lot of movies, I mean, you can make a living, being an extra, because a lot of times they get overtime, they get extra pay. So I mean, if you're in, like, LA is a little dead now for production work, but if you're in LA, you could work 5, 6 days a week just being an extra.
Yeah, and commercial work as well. I've seen a
Yep.
lot of commercial work being brought over here, and that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So what is the difference with acting as an extra in your view and acting as a real actor?
Oh, I think, I don't, yeah, it's tough because I'm not an actor, but I feel like, some extras just want to be extras. You know, they're just people who love movies or love Hallmark movies, and they're like, oh, I don't want to say anything, but I'd love to be able to point myself out when I'm watching this movie. And then you got people who are actors who, you know, do have roles, you know, probably not lead roles, but maybe supporting roles or day players, and they just do extra work just to fill the gap of time.
Yeah, and make it look like it's really happening in a real world. You know, that's a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
part
and
of
it's
it.
always good. It's always good to get, you know, more titles on your credits too.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.